You actually watched this happen too. In this setup here, this was the example that they did right before your eyes. You watched them batch the concrete and watched them truck it over to the pump, and you know the guy's got to rake it down out of the chute by hand, and it dried up that quickly. So they actually made the concrete in front of your eyes and showed you the phenomena of it drying up. They weren't lying. No, no, because it really, they couldn't make concrete out of it. They couldn't do anything with it. It literally dried up. I mean, dried up to a point where it was, like I say, like a brick mix. It was, you know, you couldn't pump it, couldn't do anything with it. It was drying up right before their eyes.
How long did they expect it to stay for?
Normally, the mix, accordance to ACI, was had a workability of an hour and a half.
So if they are comparing the 90 minutes to 30 minutes?
To less than 30 minutes. In the laboratory, they were able to keep the properties for an hour and a half, slowly losing as the concrete begins to set up. But in this case, it was very quick, very quick.
Where was the lab?
The lab that did the mix design in Sacramento. So they used all the local materials. That was all. That was all checked.
It was a real surprise for them. Real surprise.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
It's hardening.
Oh, they're not able to place it. Everything up to this point is fine. Just a lot of ideas. Remember, it's volume at this point.
You don't have to come with the right idea.
Mm-mm.
Just brainstorm.
The right one will be in there. I guarantee it. The right one will be in there. If you generate at least 10 to 15, you'll get the right one. Where'd the water go? We know that cement water really doesn't react that quickly. You know, cement and water takes some time for that chemical reaction. Like baking a cake, it takes a while. It takes some hours for it to start reacting. So we know it's really not hydrating that quickly. So the water, something else is happening to the water. Something else is making it dry up. We've got middle of California in September where it never rains. So, you know, water's critical to everything. But where'd it go? Surface drying? Truck drying?
Was it once they actually took it out of the truck? Like how was it in the truck?
When they made it, it looked wet. By the time they trucked it over to that site, you can see they had to drag it out of the chute. They couldn't even get it out of the chute. It was drying up that much. To them, it looked like it was setting up. To them, it looked like it was flash setting. They, the guys on site, they don't know any better. They're just making concrete. It looked like concrete over there. 100 yards later, it looks like it's setting up to me. But we know that cement water doesn't react that fast. Not unless you have really some super accelerators in there to kick it off that quickly, but I don't know. Did somebody throw some accelerator in there? Somebody threw in a jar of salt or something in there to make it set up quicker. I don't know. I mean, that could,
It was fine aggregates, coarse aggregates, and cement and water. That's it.
And silica fume. Yeah. And air. Yeah, that mixed design that was, yeah, I'll put that back up here. Get back to the mixed design here. Yeah. That was pretty straightforward. Cement, silica fume, sand, gravel, air, water reducers. Had the slump. Got our strength. Everything was fine in the lab. Never made it in the field. Never made the concrete in the field. This is your first attempt. That's why you're called in. Anybody have 10 ideas yet? There you go. In your groups, pick out the, now through your collection, pick out the 3 that you think are the better ideas as a group. You all have the same, you should all have roughly the same ones. If you have more than 10, begin to try and go through and figure out your best 3, which ones you think may be most likely. They could just be your favorite ones.
Are they using the same exact materials from the lab?
Yes. When you do lab mixes, special project lab mixes, they normally bag up the materials that are going to be used on the project and give them to the laboratory and use exactly the same materials. Potable water. No, it wouldn't be water from the same place, but it would be, you know, drinkable water. Yeah, there's nothing. No. They're not supposed to be. Not supposed to be, but that could have been one of the ones down there. Yeah, when they do those mixed designs in the lab, they'll bring, yeah, they'll fly the aggregate in, fly the sand in, cement, everything, even the air and training and water reducers and chemicals, and they'll make a true, you know, a true lab mix. But that's the big step between what we call labcrete and fieldcrete. You know, in the lab it was great, right? Now you're in the field. Now you have to make a real high performance concrete that's going to last for 100 years in the middle of nowhere. And now all of a sudden it's not working the same way. What happened? What's going on? That's what we're trying to come up with here. You guys got your favorite 3? What's your least favorite 3? Mark those. Got your least favorite 3? With your most favorite 3? We need a spokesman now from our groups. You ready? Let's do this. Let's just do this real democratically. To pick a spokesman for each group, on the count of 3, each group point to the spokesman. Point to the person in your group you want to be spokesman on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. Who's got the most fingers? Who got the most fingers? All right, the guy that got the most fingers, he gets to pick the spokesman. How's that? The guy that got the most fingers gets to pick the spokesman. All right? You pick a spokesman then. Who wants to go first? In the back. What's your top 3? Well, hang on. We gotta write these down somewhere. We gotta keep track of these. What do you got? Whoop. Okay. Humidity? Okay. What was the last one? Okay. Next group.
We had a lot of the same, but truck contamination, like the truck that was bringing the material in had some kind of contamination going on.
Okay.